How y'all doing? It is your Director of Revenue, Abby Souffrant, and I have a special guest today. I have Miss Michelle Hawkins out of Arizona, and she is our entrepreneur of the day. That we're going to talk about her business and what she got. First of all, before I even let her talk, me and Miss Michelle are in another mentor group, and Miss Michelle tries to hide in the back a little bit. But then when she talks, she just be dropping gems and dropping bombs. And she is like, she got so much knowledge and she just be chilling. So I want to share her with y'all. I'm gonna get her out her shell just a little bit. But Miss Michelle, how are you? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm having a very good weekend. So
Yes,
I have just been doing my thing and having fun. Got to go to one of my favorite restaurants, a brisket house. So it was a good weekend.
Oh, listen, I love me a good brisket, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, Miss Michelle, please introduce yourself and your business.
Okay. My name is Michelle S. Hawkins. I am the owner, founder, and managing member of Amazon TC. This is my second time with this company. I had it many years ago, and it was Amazon Trading Company. Once I moved to Arizona from a native Detroiter, claimed my city. Once I moved to Arizona, there was already a company here named Amazon Trading Company. So they forced me to hyphenate it, and it became Amazon TC. What my company does is we help American companies take their goods and services overseas. We help them locate the companies that can handle their product or are interested in their products. And I always tell people, even though we had a #1 customer in the US, in our neighborhood, in our backyard, the US government, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. International is a way to expand folks' businesses for longevity. And it's not as hard as people assume it is. The example I always give to people is, think about a New Yorker you're doing business in New York. I'm in Detroit. I do business in New York. I want to do business in Louisiana as well. And I want to do business in Seattle. Each of those 3 states, even though we're all in the United States, each one of them has a different culture. You have to take that culture into consideration when you go in there. You won't talk to somebody in New York like you will in Louisiana. It's just not going to happen. The mindset is totally different. Whether y'all sit down and have drinks or a meal before, all of these things come into play. Same thing when you go overseas. It's the exact same thing. And I tell people, just don't go overseas looking for America. Don't go overseas. If I'm from Detroit, why would I go to Ivory Coast looking for Detroit? Look at what the culture is and respect that culture. People are looking for America's goods and services. Our companies are well respected in the international marketplace. And a lot of us don't realize that because we haven't thought to look overseas.
Yeah, I would say so. You know, a lot of times because we're here, we focus on right here. It's so easy to focus on our community, our neighborhood, our county. And sometimes some people get a little weary with doing even stuff in different states, but e-commerce these days has skyrocketed. But then even thinking even higher and going over internationally, like that's just something that just has not even been a thought. The most international that most of us do is if someone bought our product on our e-commerce website and we're sending it internationally to them. But you're saying you're the plug. You pretty much can get our products over there with them buying or doing what actually I was going to assume stuff, but what type of agreements or things we have to have in place? Like, are we going to do like partnerships? Are we doing more so like a drop shipping or a wholesale type of thing, or are there just many options?
All of those options are available to you.
Wow.
You can, through e-commerce, sell your products over there. Remember, most of these countries have a young population. That young population is very rapidly becoming middle class. They're not afraid of technology. They use the internet to buy and sell. So they're not hung up on that. I mean, I'm a senior, but I look at how many of my friends, they don't even want to buy on the internet. And I'm like, come on, Use Amazon. You know, we're not running to the store to buy because you need some more milk. Let's be honest. People overseas have no hangups about using the internet. They have no hangups about buying American goods and services. We just need to look beyond our borders. And I always tell people the only difference is you're doing, instead of doing business across a state or city border, you're doing business across a country border. That's it. I don't speak Russian. I've done business with Russians.
Oh, don't say that too loud now. You know they don't want to do this with us right now.
Mr. Shell,
you're going to get us in trouble. You're going to get me banned on YouTube.
That was like 25 years ago. But you know what? I don't get involved with wars. I don't take sides. I stay out of that because there are too many factors for us as citizens to get in between that. So
correct.
I agree with the Nigerian president. He threw his hands up when they asked him and just kept walking. That's our attitude. As a business person, that is your attitude. You do not take sides. You do not get involved in the politics of that. You're there to do business. You are not there for a Marshall Plan. That's just not the way you work.
Mercy.
And that's the attitude we have to take. It is not hard. There are so many. Let's use an example.
Yeah,
I like examples and stories to help people because it creates a visual people in folks' mind and help them to remember. I'm in Arizona. Because I'm a native Detroiter, I have contacts with automotive parts, which I've sold before.
Yeah.
I look around and see who's really interested in American cars. I mean, because, you know, worldwide, a lot of people buy Japanese cars, Japanese and Korean made cars. So let me look around and see who likes American cars. So I do the research because that's one of my pets. I am a researcher. I love it. And I'm a constant learner. I probably did like 7 courses with different agencies this week just to see what new programs are coming out.
Wow.
Me in Arizona, I'm looking to see who's selling Detroit parts. Nigerians, Ivorians, and Cameroonians. I mean, I'm an Africanist. I deal with other countries, but my heart is in Africa.
Right.
They like Cadillacs. They like the deuce and a quarter, the 225 Cadillacs.
Yeah, the deuce and a quarter.
They like those cars. They're heavy, and they like little older models. They'll get the new Escalade because that's a heavy model.
Yeah.
They will look for those parts. Say if I've got a pristine, and my brother had one of these, red deuce and a quarter with a white drop top. Person has bought that. You in Nigeria, you got to have that in your car collection. You need to replace a part. You are not readily going to find that part in Nigeria. So what do? You have your people go on the net and find someone who has that year model car. Let's say it's a 1980. So you have them find that car. Me being me, I'm on the internet with my part listed. This is a simplistic example. They can then find me, do a search for that part. Who pops up? Me. I then sell it to them. Simple, straightforward transaction. You had a part, you sold it internationally. And shipping is not that hard to ship. I've been shipping internationally for 30 years. I've made jewelry. I've shipped to so many countries I had to look up on maps. And I'm like, they paid this much for this stone? And the shipping is more than what I charged them for, but they wanted that item. That's an example.
Wow.
Now let's go to a larger business. A lot of our people that I've helped before, when they go to our government agencies to get help, say they're a 5 or 10 person business. Our company, although they're saying they're changing now, prior years, if you weren't 100 person business, 100 employee business, they kind of didn't know how to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they say, "Oh, we'll do this and this, this and that." But you're a small business. You need to know where these grants are. There are grants for you to take your business overseas. There are grants for you to go to trade shows. You don't always get that information when you go to these agencies. Although they swear now under this current administration, they're trying to change that. We shall see. I'm holding out hope that it does happen. Right. Was called siloing. Whereas if I was dealing with the Agency for International Development, all of their products were here. If I'm have one item that I need from Commerce, but I needed these two to talk to each other, it was not going to happen. I could take my paperwork from Commerce to AID and say, look, I need help here. Commerce has already said I've got this in place. I need you all to do this. Was not going to happen. You pretty much get left by the roadside. Now, what they've done is there are 17 different agencies dealing with international trade. Okay? Now they're saying they've taken the silos down and you can go in to like a one-stop shop for the agencies. If you need help with AID, you need help with Exim Bank, and you need help with Department of Defense. Now you're supposed to be able to pull those three agencies together to help you do the work that you need. Which, if it happens, will be a blessing. If it happens, it'll be a blessing. Let me repeat that. Okay. Because come on, we know I'm a former employee of the Detroit City Council. I was also a U.S. Customs inspector. Everybody wants their turf. And that's a reality that we have to also be aware of as business owners. You don't want to get in with somebody involved with a turf war or turf battle. You want to be able to smoothly go through each agency. That's a lot of times where we come in. We know how to say, hi there, this is what we need. This is what our client needs. Let me give you all the paperwork and make your job easy for you. And a lot of times, that's one way you get through these agencies. They are inundated with paperwork. We know they have not hired enough people. We know under the last administration, a lot of people were shredded who should have been left in place. So the easier you make their job for them, the easier you can move through and get what you need. There's so much money. Yeah, there's so much money. And the last 2 or 3 acts that were played that were appropriated to help small businesses. Because of the pandemic, we have lost so many small businesses. The current administration wants to up the, as you know, want to up the ante on that. Yes, they do. It's on us to go through, find this money, increase our businesses, take our products both here and overseas. Put that matrix mix in place for your business so that you have customers outside and inside the U.S. So that you, if one, just like if you're selling on a platform, on different platforms, if you're selling on Poshmark and Poshmark goes down, eBay's still moving. eBay goes down, you got Poshmark moving. So that all your eggs are not in one basket and you can keep moving forward and building your business. That's one of the ways we come in. We help you to pull that money. Say you're a fish market. You're a fish processor. There's certain countries you need to be into these international trade fairs. Our government pays for that. They will give you a grant to go over there and participate in those trade shows. Wait a minute now. Oh, I told y'all, that's why she's laughing. Miss Michelle knows all the sauce in the juice. I thought I was good. You see, I'm in class, sitting here like this. The money is there. Here's where it gets really cute that a lot of our companies don't realize. Okay, I'm selling my processed fish product. I go to a giant trade fair. Not only did the U.S. pay for my booth, paid for me and my employees to go, they paid for to set up the whole 9 yards, right? Say I get 3 customers out of that trade fair, week-long trade fair. Say I got 3 customers. Customer 1 looks like my best choice, so I want to go with this person. The amount of product they want to buy, they don't necessarily have the full amount to pay me, right? I don't have enough product to meet what they're asking for. They say, I need this level. I'm here. And I'm like, well, maybe we can do multiple levels. They nope, we need each shipment to be here. Okay. So I go to one of the various banks that deal with international, and there are several. And I say, okay, this is an Asian company. I go to Asian Development Bank and I say, here's a product that I'm selling. Asian Development Bank may work it. Exim Bank may work it. They will help put in place the funds I need to increase my production or to buy my raw materials so I can produce this meal, fish meal to go. Now, to meet my needs, my customer, he may have a certain amount in his country, but he needs to up what I'm requesting to be paid. I can walk him into Exim Bank. Exim Bank will do his credit certifications and loan him the money to buy from me.
Wow.
Our people assume that the money can, yes, it is. You just need to know where to look. All of that is available to us as Americans.
My brain is just doing this right now. Like all my synapses, is that what it's called? They snapping. Why am I not overseas?
Here's the big problem. When these bills are appropriation, the big appropriation bills are done, there's so much money set aside for each area that they have an interest in, right? There's no money for marketing. There's no money to tell the people about it. That's where people like me come in. We go out and say, look, this is here for you. What's your business? What do you want to do? Okay. As my job, I will pull the agencies and the information you need so that you can set up an actual plan or add an addendum to your business plan to add international to it. But here's the money to help you do it. There's so much money being put out there for small businesses to do business, even smaller companies, because that big push is on for the 2-year period. And it's now, when we coming out of January, so it's now 23 months.
Yep.
It's 23 months now. So we have to get on it. We have to put our business in place, put our I'm gonna say this is more important. We have to put our mindset in place to do it.
That's it.
Because if you don't believe you can do something, you will not be able to do it. Plain and simple. You will not be able to do it.
In the story.
You have to know you can do it. You have to know you can do it. Once you have the mindset that I can go out and do this, then you will see the different ways you can pull the money together, the customers, but you have to first believe you can do it.
Correct.
And that's what I run into a lot with small businesses. They can't look beyond their neighborhood. Mercy. And sometimes I'm here in Arizona. Some of the things I did in Detroit, I would not consider doing here. It's not the market for it. So the U.S. is like 50 different countries. And that's something our folks need to realize too. We are a large country. Our individual states are bigger than most countries overseas. Correct. I mean, look at Texas, look at New York. Michigan is a western side state with an eastern population. I remember when I was on the Michigan District Export Council, they did a $1 billion bean deal. And I was like, beans? Beans? They was like, yes, Michelle, we've been working on this for years. We got this done. $1 billion. And they were able to do it. They sold $1 billion in beans to China. Now, how did they do it? They had to bring all these different farmers together. So so that they would have a large enough supply to meet this contract. Because wasn't no one person going to be able to do it. No one farmer.
$1 billion? Woo!
$1 billion in beans.
Look, I sell some beans. If that's what they doing, I could sell some beans. I am not too ashamed to say I sell beans.
That's right. And a lot of times we may have the mindset of, I don't want to do business with the government. The government is your friend. That's where your tax dollars are going. Make use of it. Make them work. Correct. Make them work for those tax dollars you put in. Let me give you a quick story. This man had me crying, laughing. I had I'm gonna call him middle-aged white farmer from Upper Michigan. The Department of Commerce head told him to call me. And I had to apologize to this man because I laughed through his entire story. This gentleman, and I told him, I said, God must be blessing you. This man went to Nigeria, didn't know anybody, was offering people money for them to make introductions to him. He was trying to find places to sell his farm products. He was in one of the most notorious areas of Nigeria for kidnapping. And it was like he had a sign on his back saying, I know nothing. After I got through laughing, I apologized because I couldn't help it. I say, I am so sorry for laughing. He said, it's okay, I understand. I said, but you must be a blessed person because I know people way more accustomed to international than you who have actually done business, who have been kidnapped. Oh I say, and here you went over there not knowing anybody, said, innocent as a lamb, went into some of the most treacherous areas, and you made it home safely. You didn't get any business done, but you made it home safely. Lord. I said, I was like, one of the things is help our people know how to navigate in these cities. Because just like the United States, there are some areas your head is on swivel when you go there. Correct. That's just reality. You're going to have good, bad, and indifferent areas all over the world, just like we do here.
Yes, correct.
But I always tell that story because I love the fact that he tried. Bless his soul, he did. He got up off his behind and he tried it. We were able to help him. He did eventually do well.
Oh my gosh. Like my head is just like going crazy. So my family, my father's side of the family is from Ghana. My dad still currently lives there. With my stepmother and sisters and just a host of family. And I love going there. I have products that I'm not necessarily utilizing right now, but I would definitely love to put them internationally if
And Ghana's the ink spot right now.
Oh, yes, it is. It is hot.
Because of the law of return and their push to bring more Black Americans back and to offer citizenship, there's a big push. And something else that people don't realize, and one of the reasons I push Africa divided themselves into 6 regions. Mm-hmm. Africans outside the country, those with African ancestry outside the country, make up the 6th region. Many countries will give us citizenship. So you can have dual citizenship.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't made it to Ghana yet, but I've been to Senegal, and I love Senegal. I've been to several countries. Been to Egypt twice, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Senegal. I got to go to Ghana.
You have to go. I might have to go with you because anybody who's going, I'm like, can I go with you? Because I love it. I love it. My oldest children have been blessed already to go. They were my oldest children were, I want to say, 3 and 5 at the time when they went. So it's been a while, but they loved it. They had a ball. My husband's been, yeah. So I'm going to talk to you, Miss Michelle, and figure out how we can move some stuff over to Ghana because that is like my heart's desire. And you're making it sound so simple, but because that's what you do. So because it's what you do, you know what needs to be in place to make the process smoother.
Follow the laws on that side and on this side. Reason being, the last thing you ever want to do is be in customs court. People don't realize U.S. Customs is the only law body in the authorized in the U.S. Constitution. That's why in the old Dragnet movies, if you pull up the old Dragnet series, you'll see they're always waiting on U.S. Customs to come. The FBI is always waiting on U.S. Customs to come before they can enter. That's because Customs has the only authority, the only policing authority given by the Constitution. They have their own court system. They have their own police force, policing system. That's how we got ICE.
Right. That makes sense.
Immigration did not have that authority. They needed to couple them with Customs so they would have policing authority.
I told y'all Miss Michelle know everything. I'm just over here just listening. I ain't even got no questions. I just want her to talk. I don't care what she said at this point. I'm just listening with y'all.
I can tell that my first week as a U.S. Customs, as a customs inspector, I had to do a strip search. I was like 23. I was more embarrassed than the lady was. She started apologizing to me. I was supposed to do a cavity search. When the port director said, "You give her a cavity search," I went, "What? No." He said, "Give her a cavity search." So, he had the lady who was an older lady, was the Spanish interpreter. She went in with me. It was hilarious. I was beat red. The lady was just study apologizing. I said, "Ma'am, you were giving that guy a hard time only because he was black." I said, "He's one of the best inspectors on the line." It didn't make sense the way you were talking to him. That's why the port director called you for a strip search, because you had diamonds, not diamonds, she had rubies that she had not declared. He found them because she had a minor search, right? She was so nasty, they did a full bag search. Everything got searched. Ooh. Then they find more gemstones, right? That's why she got told. And I told him, I'm not going up in this lady body, because he said cavity search at first. I was like, you got to call somebody else. No. No.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That you have not entered the U.S. until you clear customs.
That's correct.
You are a person in limbo until you cleared customs. Anything said and done to you, you have no legal recourse. That's why I tell people, you be nice. Just like you be nice to secretaries, you be nice to those folks on that line.
Oh, absolutely. You're not about to keep me here in limbo. No, sir. No, ma'am. No. Yep. What you need? Oh, yep. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir.
Until you clear customs, you are person non grata. You have no authority, no nothing.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you just dropped so much. I don't even know where to start. So, so Amazon TC, Amazon Trading Company.
No, you have to use TC.
TC, okay. Amazon TC. Okay, that's where anyone who's interested in international trade with their business can come to you. Now, is international trade primarily product based? Is there some service, or is it
good and service? You can take goods or services international. Remember, Coach was on me because I hadn't told her.
Yes,
I thought that was hilarious, because I'm like, I thought you knew. What can I say? So yeah, you can take goods and services, because look at all our tech companies where we so far ahead of the game. And people need those services. So yes, you can. You can take that overseas.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty much anything you can think of, you can sell overseas.
Wow.
I put people in touch with a couple of scrap companies here. They buy the scrap metal. You know, I had to have several people come together so that they could put a whole shipload of scrap together.
Right.
They needed the metal. They didn't have smelting camp. I mean, they didn't have the metals being manufactured in their countries. So they wanted to scrap metal.
Wow. Okay.
So anything can be done.
Oh my gosh. Look, Miss Michelle, don't say no more, because you done said too much already.
I love this field.
We know you know. At this point, just take all of our money and put us international. So, cause that's just where look. I'm done. I don't even know what to say no more. I'm speechless, and that'll never happen too often. Like,
I am putting the webinar together, but
oh, when? Do you have a date? Not yet.
no, I'm
Okay.
working it. I'm doing it now. Here's the issue as I see it. Because so many people don't normally think about it, I'm thinking I need to do a basic, an intermediate, and a high touch. We ready to go. We have everything we need in place. You just point us in the direction or give us a guide on how to and where and with who. So basically, I'm thinking that's 3 different webinars.
Absolutely.
To keep it honest.
And they would have to go through each one to get to the next one. You just can't go to the high level because you might miss some things in the basics.
Yeah, and it also depends on where you are in your business.
True.
I mean, once I do a consult with them, I can tell them, say, you need this first one, or you need the second one, or you're ready to go. You may not even need this next one. Let's just put you a plan in place and you go carry it out. Okay. So it'll start with a consultation.
So what if I have a product that I'm interested in putting internationally, but I'm not necessarily sure what country would be the best fit? Is that something that your company does? Like they match my product with the country that is primarily, wow.
Well, here's the other thing. Okay. Let's say you have an emulsifier that would help purify shea butter, help with taking the impurities out or helping the shea butter to blend better. And you want to sell that to processors. Well, shea butter cuts across 3 countries. More than likely, there is an association, because I used to do business with a women's association in Ghana. I had met the lady who was the head of it in Detroit. So instead of you saying, well, let me try and run the people down here in Ghana, we'll find the association for you. So you have a bigger pool to draw from. And then if you decide you want to just work with one country, you can go that route. I mean, because some people, like, you have a father there. So you probably have some contact in that country.
Yeah, I have lots of contacts.
You might want to say, well, yeah, that looks good, but let me start here first. And then once I'm comfortable in Ghana, I can deal with the association.
Correct.
Since they cover 4 countries. Well, let me start here so that I get my feet wet. I become comfortable doing business internationally. And I feel comfortable enough to move forward to dealing with a larger market. To me, that's a very sensible pattern to do it, pathway to go into international.
So if you could give a guesstimate, of the reality of how much revenue is earned, what is like internationally, like what are some, like, if you could think off the top of your head, I don't need to know what they sold or who it was, but some of the revenue that has been made internationally, like what does that look like?
You mean on an individual basis, or?
Yeah, like,
because we're talking $30 trillion marketplace.
I'm going home. I'm going home right now. I'm going to book my session right now. $30 trillion. I can't even.
That's why you don't look at it that way. You look at, what is my company doing? What is my industry? Then you look and see what that industry is doing worldwide. You can look and see what that industry is doing worldwide. You can check and see what that industry is doing in your country of interest to make sure there's a big enough market for what you want to sell them. Our government keeps statistics on everything. And trust me, when you call the different country desks, because they're bored, they're experts in their area, and people aren't calling them, you will get more information than you know what to do with. I have never had a bad interaction when I call. You know how sometimes you'll call government agencies, they'll be like, yeah, what do you want? No. They're so happy you contacted them, they will give you information you didn't even know you needed.
Oh my gosh. Ms. Michelle, that's good to know. I would have never guessed, but you're right though. their phones are not ringing off the hook, and I that makes sense.
Mhm.
But they're so welcoming for our products and services because it only betters their economy, their quality of life. You know, whatever they're going to use it for, it only betters them. And
And
we
that
really should think to get out the box of being
and
just
they're in
US
those
based.
positions to help you go into the marketplace, the international global marketplace. So yes, they want you to call.
Man, so how many openings do you have? Because I need to go ahead and book my session like yesterday. Because this is crazy. This is good. This is good.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll work the session out. And we can go.
AmazonTC.com is where you will find the all this fire she just talked about. You can get to her there. Or you can find her on Facebook, Michelle S. Hawkins. She is very much so on Facebook. She drops all these links in our mentor group all the time. And I'll just be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Yes. Like Miss Michelle, thank you so much. If I could just,
I like information. I like
yes.
information. I like knowledge. I'm constantly doing this. I mean, like some people like to knit. I learned to knit. I'm horrible at it. But I like information. I like learning information. I did. I'm a clothing and textiles major in high school. That's what I did. I knit, I crocheted, I made car seats. I draped, I took a long strip of fabric, draped it over a mannequin and made a dress. I mean, we had to do all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they no longer teach home ec, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. It is something that the schools need to go back to so desperately.
Yeah. Well, look, thank you for having our minds spinning, Miss Michelle. I'm definitely going to have you back about 2 or 3 more times this year. And we will work that out even to promote your workshops that you have coming up because we are behind. They've been doing international trade forever. And a lot of us are just worried about staying here. And we really need to think outside the box.
And I want to add this too.
Yes.
I've been in this field like 30 years. It's just become sexy in the last, say, 20 years. 30 years ago, nobody was thinking about international trade. So when a company got an order from overseas, they threw it on the clerk or a secretary. Then when international trade got sexy and everybody wanted to be the international trade person, guess who had the expertise? The women who were secretaries. As a result of that, you have Women in International Trade, national organization is OWIT. And I've been to meetings and it's been hilarious because if you go to these different organizations, you'll think it's only men. I mean, these different events, you'll think, oh, it's only men in international trade. No, it wasn't. It was women doing the paperwork, seeing to it that it cleared customs, seeing to it that it met the regulations. It was women doing the paperwork. And a good part of that is, and people shouldn't be afraid of it, is paperwork. Not hard to do, but like everything with the government, you cross the I's, and dot the T. Dot the I's and cross the T's.
Yes. Yes.
Just make sure you do your paperwork. And it's not hard. It's just a matter of following and answering exactly what they say. I tell people, just like when we take these exams, don't give no extra. Do not give extra information. Answer the question that's in front of you and only that. Don't elaborate. Just answer the question. Just the feds. They got so much coming at them. Make their job easy for them. Answer the question and keep moving.
That's it.
And it makes it so much smooth. It makes your trade transactions so much smoother.
Listen, we heard it first from the expert. I trust her knowledge. I trust her expertise. Just answer the question and keep it moving. So with that being said, thank you so much, Miss Michelle Hawkins, for tuning in with us today, dropping all these gems. It's going to take me about a week to just dissect everything and then have the courage to be like, all right, I'm ready. But thank you so much for
y'all are some of my favorite people. I am so proud of you of what you've done in such a short period of time. You and your I
Thank
am so
you.
proud of y'all.
Thank you so much. Look, we working hard. We're trying to work smarter and not harder. And Ms. Michelle just gave us opportunities for us to work smarter and not harder, because there is a need out there in the world for what we have to offer. So thank you again, Ms. Michelle. We appreciate you. Thank you, everybody that's watching. I hope y'all enjoy it. If you enjoyed it, make sure you write something down in the comments. Drop your industry in the comments so that when this goes live, Ms. Michelle will see it and see all the different, well, she probably already know, but we want to keep her up to date to see what's going on and what we're doing and what we're producing and what we're putting out there in the e-commerce world, ready for another person, another country, another entity to take advantage of what we have to offer. So with that said, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.